We are live here from Talladega Super Speedway. Last night at Daytona, we had a race coming down to the line. It looks like tonight we are going to have 27 drivers in the field. So a lot of drivers here tonight. I'm joined by Biggles here again. You know, Biggles, what did you think of the race last night? What are you expecting to see here tonight here at Talladega?
Well, as you said, it came down to the absolute wire, didn't it? Towards the end there with that late caution car. So we perhaps could see this one. This track is obviously a little bit wider than what we had in the previous Speedway, so this is what you're expecting to see. What I think you were mentioning, it wasn't it? Is you're probably going to get more 3 wide through here. We did see 3 wide, didn't we?
Yeah, we saw
in Daytona, but not as much as probably what we're going to see tonight.
Yeah, at Talladega, you know, Talladega really through the travel is where it's a lot wider than Daytona. Drivers will kind of shove it through, but I'll go through the starting order here. First is Raymond Rittner, second Kenneth Stamper, third Matthew Baker, fourth Jason D. Maines, fifth PJ Luttrell, sixth Autumn Koger, 7th, Trevor Ashenroth. 8th, Chris Whitaker. 9th, Christopher Carter. 10th, Tyler Letchworth. 11th, Joseph Hurd. 12th, Brian Keyser. 13th, Jason Schilling. 14th, Kerry Whitaker. 15th, Larry McDonald. 16th, Eddie Hawks. 17th, Joe Cogburn. 18th, Matt M. Carroll. 19th, Jeff D. Merrick. I'll go down on the board here. You can see these guys down here. 20th, Kevin Winker. 21st, Braxton DeWeese. His fan club's definitely here. I know, watching tonight. 22nd, Nash Brambala. 23rd, Dale Young. 24th, Randy Richard. 25th, Zachary Tostevin. Oh, I hid the overlay. 26th, Andrew. So these drivers back here will get moved up a position. 26th is Kenneth McCulloch Jr. 28th is Bradley Shepard. And that is all the drivers tonight. You see, too, those guys I didn't pronounce their names because Biggles, he's in the booth. Andrew is doing race control tonight, I believe. But I think, you know, last night we kind of saw it almost come down to pit strategy. They were lucky that it didn't come down to it. There were 7 cautions, but I think tonight you'll see a lot of green flag runs, and it'll be a huge strategy game for a lot of these guys in the field here.
Totally going to be looking forward to it. We got the usual crowd out there. G'day, g'day. Of course, we got Mr. Kerry Whitaker's mum out there, again supporting her son. That almost got that race victory last night. Ended up finishing in 3rd. Take that one.
Yeah, he had it. Yeah. He had it at the line, and then the 49 was able to set him up and get it there, but he was able to come home 3rd, so not a bad finish for him. He hopefully wants to move up 2 positions tonight. He doesn't want to finish where he did last night for sure.
So, well, they say sweet home Alabama, my friend. We are in Alabama, so, well, who's going to be the sweetest across the line to win this race?
Oh, Lord. I mean, if I had to look, you know, Matthew Baker, he's a name that jumps out at me. Braxton DeWeese, always good at super speedways, and we have Jason D. Maines. His son is not racing here, but, you know, especially when I know him and Matthew, they do a lot of super speedways together, and they can really work together in this. But, you know, it's a super speedway. Anything can happen. You can have drivers in the fence within 5 laps, 20 at the end, and that can end somebody's race. They do have one faster pair, but drivers will want to hold on to that for as long as possible. You know, you don't want to use it as soon as a race begins because that will put you in a hole to start.
And the fuel, I believe you can do 2. If you're really good at fuel saving, that's about it, right?
Let's see. So here they'll be able to go about, I think, 15 to 17 laps. So I believe probably you'll see about maybe a little bit, maybe close to 4 pit stops, maybe 5 if you're not saving your fuel correctly. But they'll definitely be coming down pit road, and it's going to be a little bit easier to pit here too with this wide pit entrance, wide track in general. You can really fan out when you start going into the pits to make sure you don't run over each other.
Yeah, I thought you could go 50% fuel, but obviously that's a whole different ball game when you're driving at maximum speed.
That's just a lot of stuff with how these guys drive here. Drivers in the back of the pack, they'll be able to stretch their fuel a little bit longer, knowing that they're having to run half throttle to not get into the guys in front of them. That also helps them at the same time, but Rittner's going to lead him to green. He's going to have the 30 of Kenneth Stamper to his outside. Rittner will have Matthew Baker in the 5, but Stamper will have the pro and Jason D. Maines on his bumper. Will Matthew and Maines somehow get together? I think that they will, because they always tend to work together good, but green flag will be in the air really soon. They got to go through that long trioval here at Talladega. Feels like it's forever. Starts off the 87. Looks like the 30 tries to go a little bit before. Green flag is in the air. Rittner has Baker on his bumper. Pretty clean start for all these drivers. They've actually kind of pulled a gap on PJ. PJ might have been a little bit slow off the start, but truly doesn't really matter here. It's just a super draft-heavy track. You can just kind of stay in line with each other most of the time, and that kind of settles it. But that outside lane, or not really outside lane, say the middle lane on these super speedways always tends to show, you know, just some odd strength that you don't see at other tracks. You don't have to have as many trucks with you to get the shove, But once you get that shoved and you get lined up, that is when you start going somewhere. I believe I can't see who that is who's leading that line. That's the white truck up there. He actually goes down to the bottom, so that's going to switch the 23, I think. Chris Carter, nope, he hops down. Now Whitaker's going to be leading that outside lane. He's only got 3 trucks, but that outside lane, and if they can get just a small amount of trucks with them, that'll give them a run on the outside. They just got to get guys with them eventually.
Yeah, they're going to be very, very cautious after the drivers' briefing meeting earlier, saying, okay, guys, you know, it's a 70-lap race, so let's not get it all messed up on the first couple of laps. Let's just get the groove in there, get the feeling, get the tires up to temperature, and then start planning your, pulling your cards out there and playing your poker face or not, your bluffs, your tactics, everything.
Drivers, I'd say that right now at this point, you're probably just running in a line. You're not trying to do anything too drastic, as Whitaker is still trying to lead the outside lane. But we'll see. Look, everybody's pretty much back here. They're not really truly racing each other at this point. I don't blame them. You got guys very far in the back. Let's see. Actually, the furthest person back is at 777, Bradley Shepard. So he's all the way back here in 26. Got 14 who's a lap down. I'm not sure what happened to him. Looks like he might have joined later, missed the start. That's the only thing I can think of that would cause him to be that far back here. It's pretty lucky that...
Yeah, he jumped in the pit lane or something like that really early, so something happened there. That's the reason why.
May have had...
Nothing's shown. Yeah, he did go in the pit lane. It's twice now, too.
I'm not sure why he would do that. It's kind of an oddball. Don't know why he came down pit road at all, but evidently he did. He did come down at some point. I just didn't see it all, but Whitaker's leading the outside lane. He's starting to get some trucks behind him. He's trying to make his way up to the front here. Looks like one of the 30 cars. God, that's all running the same paint scheme, so it's a little bit confusing on who that is. That was the 89 and the 24 that jumped out. That's Ashton Roth, and PJ hopped up in that middle lane. Looks like PJ got a pretty good, or not PJ, sorry, you got trucks that run in the exact same paint scheme. The 30 Kenneth Stamper was looking. He might work with his teammates here. If they need some help in the outside lane, might as well go ahead and help you. Let's see if he does that. He's maybe thinking about it. He's trying to time that run in front of PJ to get that good bump off his bumper. He might be a little bit too early there, but he'll still be able to help lead this line up top.
We got more mum fan clubs out there as well too. With Baker's mum, g'day in the chat. A bit of mum motivation boost can definitely get your drivers up there. We saw that last night as well, so let's see how it's going to work out for Baker as well too. Matthew Baker's not out there.
See Kenneth Stamper getting a shove from PJ behind him. He's really getting up there now. He's about up to second, trying to get even with Matthew Baker. Rent Howard is still leading at this point, but that 30, I think he might have something for him up there. We got somebody going 3 wide back there. It looks like that is the 90. That's right. That's the 60 of Jeff Merck. He's up on that top lane. He's got the 61 behind him and Matt Carroll. They're 3 right through the travel. I don't think these guys on the outside can really do much, though, because they don't have numbers here, so it's going to be hard for them to get any positions. They might want to get back in line to decide, man, this is way, well, I wouldn't say way too early, but this is just not a move that I think will help you, because you're going to have to go to the back of this, and you're going to lose more positions. It looks like the blue truck behind them. He's looking. He's trying to run in both lanes. They're really fanning out now down the back stretch. They're 4 wide now. The 87, the 24, the 23. 4 wide. Oh, Lord. Oh, they stopped
and
that.
And the speed the 6 has gone through until he gets up on the high line here. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4 cars goes immediately through. Where's the 60 car of Jeff? Yeah, now he's have to drop back because he loses a bit of speed momentum from out in the corner.
It's only lap 5, and they're already putting it 4 wide. They were able to make it, though, because that back stretch is really wide here. Talladega is just a wide track in general, so they can get away with those moves. They know that they have space around them. Daytona, you'd be kind of claustrophobic. It's not good for some of those drivers, because when you really want to make these small corrections on the wheel and you don't think that you wash up into the truck in front or next to you, and you do, and it's a complete accident. You don't mean to. That 60 still trying to stay tough. I don't know if he can, if he should be doing this, because this is going to be hurting him. He has the 89 of Eichenroth pushing him. He's getting a run. It's going to go maybe by Whitaker here before the corner gets in, but being on that high line, you're kind of scrubbing away some speed, but you're really hoping that you can get a nice launch off the corner, and that's what he's really praying for at this moment, but I'm not sure if it's going to work for him exactly.
You can see it's not, and he's going to try to find a gap to slot in behind. I would probably try to slot in the 95 right now, and he does
there
it
he
right
goes.
on cue. And see, I don't know too much about truck racing, but when you can kind of see something like that, as you mentioned, isn't it? You can't stick on that high line too long, you lose too much speed.
Oh yeah, I mean, if people have ever listened to NASCAR spotters, their driver can be screaming, "Get me down in the lane!" in that spot. Or as soon as they see a gap open, they will tell you, "Go down right now, right now. Get in the lane," because you have maybe about a second before that gap closes. Sometimes, unless you have a teammate that's behind in that position, they'll let you in, but you have to come down incredibly fast because you will be locked out of the lane that you need. Looks like they're just going to go back to 2 lanes right now. Be calm. Whitaker was looking inside of PJ, thought better of it. Someone goes outside, maybe had to check up there, didn't want to run in the back of somebody. It's the 95 of Jason Schilling.
Yeah, he's going to do it, but he's trying to drop place right now. Big time, dropped a lot of speed, scrubbing it out there. I'm not sure if that was wide. Should tuck in right behind the 89 right now. Does not do it just yet, does not commit to it. It's scrubbing even more speed. That's cost him a ton.
He might be, going all the way to the back of the pack here. That's only really no way I could think that he'd be doing this on purpose because it is lap 8. You don't want to be up there with everybody else. It'll give you time to avoid the wreck. And I think that's what he decided to do. Said, I don't want to be up here. There's no point in me doing it.
Yeah, that's what it looked like, didn't it? You wouldn't have dropped that much speed that early. There was no damage. There's no collision to the fence or anything. So, yeah, different strategy at play. Lap 8 of 70. So we've got quite a few laps to go before we're going to be looking at the first pit lane road visits from these Gladiators.
Yeah, within about, I say, 8 to 7 laps, you'll see guys start to come down pit road. Maybe 9. I think, probably about 9. I'd say 9 more laps is the most you go. Maybe lap 17 to lap 18. As far as you can go. But you want to pit in a group because if you don't, the speed difference is just drastically huge. And you will get eaten up and go a lap down as the 14. I think he's managed to stay on the lead lap somehow yet. But he'll probably be the one truck that will be a lap down when they do catch him. So he'll have to hope for caution. But hopefully that doesn't come out. We don't want to see caution. We want to see drivers to keep it green the whole night. We've had that happen once here. It's kind of like a 5-truck breakaway at the end of the race. That's what it came down to. And all the guys were friends. Looks like Braxton goes all the way to the apron. Not sure if he got shoved there. I think he might have been shoved there because I saw somebody behind them get a little bit loose in their rear end. So I think he might have gotten a bump that went wrong. That can happen sometimes. You could just hook a driver on complete accident, but you realize, okay, I'm going to get off you now so I don't hook you any more than what I have. I think that's what was happening to him. And that driver was smart enough to lift off and not get into him.
That's what you mentioned to me yesterday as well, Bryce, which I learned for the first time. It makes perfect sense, isn't it? You got to go down pit road bar with somebody else, as you mentioned, that you usually do teammates, because you're going to get murdered alone if you have to break the wind resistance all by yourself. So that's going to be also pairing off with teammates or friends, colleagues. See how they're going to pan that one out.
Yeah, we'll see a lot of times.
Sun really shines on the back of the trucks, doesn't it? We go around a certain angle and it hits you right, hits us in the casting box, bang in the face.
Yeah, there's actually a track that's worse with that. Darlington going into 3 and 4. You're covering your face the whole time. The drivers, luckily, they don't have to deal with that. But to add on what you were saying earlier, when you go to super speedways, it's teammates that pit with you, and especially manufacturers that will pit together. You'll see Fords come with Fords, Toyotas come with Toyotas, Chevys comes with Chevys. They'll try to stick together, but it's mainly teammates most of the time. But here, it'll be teammates. It won't be manufacturers, really, because nobody really cares. Yep, there's pit stops almost on cue. Yeah. Actually, earlier than what I thought. The 60 is getting in really deep. Oh, that 60 got in there incredibly deep on pit road. Oh, somebody's through the grass. that is Larry McDonald. Looks like maybe upwards to 10 trucks that came down pit road here.
It's very easy to snatch a brake, isn't it, and slam into the back of the truck. Thankfully, nobody did, because they're all coming at different speeds, different angles. They all got the job done, thankfully. Should be getting a splash and dash in and out. Nobody should be taking any tires just yet, I would imagine. No, it doesn't look like it. So who's going to gain out of this pit lane strategy?
I will give you, that 60 got in there incredibly deep on pit road, and he actually comes out leading this pack, but we'll see if this pack that will be catching them real soon. They'll probably come down pit road. I'm kind of surprised that they went in a lot earlier than what you normally would on fuel, so I'm kind of surprised that they did that, but you got the 95 and 97 working the outside lane.
That was Jeff, the 60 car, and that was a 7-second pit stop. There's another a couple more coming in now. But what a pit stop there for the Toyota driver. That's in and out quickly, and they all did about 7s on average, so that was definitely a splash and dash.
So you got Randy, Braxton, and Kevin coming down pit road right now. Oh, who missed their pit box? That was the 53 of Randy Richard. That's going to hurt him a lot. Yet, he's still missing his pit box. I think he might have gotten a bad entry, so he's going to go a lap down here. I think he's just not able to get into it. Maybe got into it a little bit sideways. The 88 also came down. The 88 and 42 came down. Why I said down there.
Because it went down somewhere, but you're right, my tire. It's so good.
See these guys, are they going to stay out and go as long as they can on fuel? They might do that. Maybe split it up pretty.
There's one going in, two going in.
here.
Teammates, actually. Well, they're all teammates, so similar livery. So now there's down to 5, I think, left that have yet to visit pit road. Yes, it is. So 6 going in, 5 staying out. We still have the earlier pack there from Jeff to see how Jeff's going to pan out when he does get caught up to this next bunch of pits. This is where the strategy comes into play, as you mentioned.
You kind of want to, you don't want to slide it in your pits. That's for sure. You want to hit it pretty clean in, clean out, maybe even go a little bit slower in. But Nash, Kerry, Matt, Bradley, and Daryl are going to be the last guys that will probably have to come down to pit road really soon. See how long of a gap there will be. So PJ, let's see where these guys end up in front of them. They should end up pretty far. 55. So the group that pitted before these guys got a huge advantage. You can see them running a train on the outside of them.
Jeff is leading. Sorry to cut you off. Jeff is leading on that pack. And look at that, all zooming past. So this is going to be interesting for the rest of the pack that are now boxing. So Kerry, Nash, Matt, are they going to go down? Are they going to end up? Are they going to be ahead of the second pack? I'm putting it as second pack and third pack now of boxing, isn't it? Because they all box in these groups, as you mentioned.
I'm looking. I don't think that they're going to come. Oh, that was bad for the 97 and the 14 back there. They both missed their pits, but I think that they won't come out in front of them. I think that they will come out behind them and be able to stay with them in the draft. Hopefully, is the best case scenario for them. It looks like the 97. Looks like he somehow got out with these guys. Also, I'm surprised by that. He slid in his pits, but these guys will run right by them. So yeah. Oh, I don't even know if they're going to be able. I don't think they're going to be able to catch the draft either.
No. So the undercut, I would have to say, has paid off dividends there by boxing just a couple of laps earlier. And that's Jeff up in the lead of this race. Get 18 positions there for the Stone River car. The number 60. Because he did that pit stop perfectly, didn't he? He jumped everybody in that one. Now he's leading this race, but he's got a massive pressure behind, of course, as they all get that slipstream.
One thing that they might have benefited on is they came down as that big pack. They probably shaved off about, I say, 2 to 3 seconds to the lead before these guys in front of them came down pit road, and that's what's given them that huge gap. These guys behind them, as you see Braxton and Kevin, they're been able to hold on to this draft here, but PJ, Kenneth, Trevor, the 23, Kerry Whitaker, Nash Ball, and Daryl Young, they're all going to try to have to line up together and catch this pack in front of them, because if they don't, they're going to be in a really hard position the whole entire night, because you don't want to really break into 2 packs, but I think it's going to be pretty difficult with how these guys are running single file currently the whole race.
Yeah, just to clarify, Carissa out there, we have 2 Whitakers here. We have Chris Whitaker and we have Kerry Whitaker. No, Kerry Whitaker's his son. Is Chris Whitaker also, are they siblings?
I don't know. They very well could be.
Well, Mum, thanks. Yeah, Carissa can answer us that one, because that'll be the number 4 there of Chris Whitaker. Should probably clarify that one for us. Lap 15 to 70. And we have 3 different packs, I believe. 2 different major packs.
Looks like we pretty much have, I say, really 2 major packs. Let's see what lap times are. We've got a pack here. I'm looking at the 42 and the 24. Oh, they are running a lot slower. That's not going to be good for them. They ran a 53.33 last time by, and Kevin Winker, who's holding on to this last pack, ran a 52.62. See what they run this time by. Oh, that's not good for these guys that are back here, that's for sure.
Shillings at 51s. Yeah, sorry, my apologies. It's 2 T's and Chris Whitaker. It's only 1 T. Casey Whitaker, so I'm pretty sure I've answered that question. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, Jeff leading it from Jason, from Matthew. And they took their pit stops on lap 10. Everybody else took them on lap 11, 12, or 13. We're on lap 16. Who's going on the high line? That's back marker getting lapped.
So that's the 777. Bradley Shepard, he's having to get lapped. They're already got 4 people that are lapped down. Bradley, Randy, Larry, and Zachary all a lap down currently at this point. Jeff is still leading this main pack. Drivers, looks like they're pretty calm here. And you see the second pack back here. They ran a 51. This group in front of them ran a 53, 52. So they're getting it going. I think it's a 95. And these guys on the outside lane, they decide, man, no, we don't need to be doing this. If we just draft and catch these guys in front, we'll have a better chance. I think that's what some of them do need to realize. I think that'll help them if they do it, though.
And Pricey, nobody's going double lane on this one yet. Nobody's going two files. They're just sticking with the 1 file and happy just to get this draft all the way. Well, in the first pack, yes.
That's not
Second pack's a little bit more aggressive per se.
I think they might be. I'm not sure if they're gaining. I think that it looks like they lose and then they gain time. This is going to hurt them doing this back. They need to. All these guys really need to get in a line and not be doing this, because this is going to hurt them. The longer they do it, the slower they're going to be, because they're going to be cutting the side draft from these guys. So it's going to be hurting them every time. I think they need to realize that. Hopefully they do soon, because if they don't, that's going to be very, very hard for them to make all this time up. They're going to have to hope for a caution.
They're all in the 42s, sorry, to the mid-52s now. Just about everybody, apart from some of the drivers about 21st down in the 53s. But yeah, they were a bit quicker, I'd have to say, the mid-pack from 13th down. But now they just even the pace there as and back on what the leaders are doing. Once again, mid-52s is pretty much the pace everybody's doing at the moment.
I don't expect that pace to change either. To leave these guys that pitted on lap 10, they can go to maybe lap 28 to 29, being courteous with them, so they can go maybe 10 more laps. I think they might have pitted early to kind of get off cycle to where they didn't have to make a pit stop towards the end of the race. So I think that's what they might have been doing. Now I think about their strategy here. Everybody looks like in this front pack, they are basically single file the whole time. This back one, they're kind of side by side. They're losing time, so they need to get single file here very quickly. They're going to be struggling to get these guys in front of them.
Some 51s are coming out there, but not a lot of caution ones. And Jeff still happy to sit there and hold that car, hold that 60 car just in front of everybody. Jason's just hanging with him, know what is going out on the outside line, as you imagine. All happy to go alone file, but it just puts a little bit of pressure, I have to say, more on Jeff now. He has to make that call there. Does he jump into pit lane? When does he jump into pit lane? And will they all follow? Or are we going to split this pack back up into other extra packs of pit lane? That's going to be the question.
I think that this group up here, I think that they'll work together for as long as they can. I truly don't see them breaking up and going down pit roads at different time. I think that they'll all come together. They've got, see how many trucks have this. They've got 12 guys in this, so if they all come down, they're going to be putting some time on these guys behind them the whole time that they're back on track.
You can gain a lot too if you can really predict what happens. So if you're back, say where Christopher Carter is, say the 25 car, say the 6th position here, and you see the leaders go in to pit road. Well, if you can take that right lane into pit lane and you can brake a little bit later than anybody else and go filing side by side through there, you can gain that advantage. And I think it's going to be a pit lane advantage gain for sure for positions as we go lap 21 of 70 so far into this race.
That was pretty much single file up here, seeing the back of the pack. Looks like they've gotten sorted out back here. Finally, almost fully going single file. I think they realized how much time they're starting to lose. They've got one truck that's on the outside. He can go down now. That's the 88. He does not go down just yet. He's surprised that he's running up high. I think he might be trying to duck behind this. I would go down if I was him.
Kenneth Samper, I just noticed, that's currently running in P16. He's at the fastest top speed at 204 miles an hour.
Ooh,
nobody's even reached the 200s at all. That's an impressive speed. Somehow got the slipstream of all slipstreams there, but still, he's running in P16 in that second group. But yeah, man, pull that top speed out. Amazing.
He must have been getting a bump at just the right time. As Jeff, he's still getting a shove from mains. They've got Baker, Rittenhauer, the 17. Not 17. These guys are running in cars that are stamped something different, but 17 this race. So you got the 23 behind these guys. They're all pretty much running in a line. They're deciding, yeah, I'm just gonna draft with you. I don't see a point in really pushing anything this early, and I wouldn't blame him. There's really no reason to. You see Jason though. He's got some definite skill here with trying to win super speedways, as he normally races with his son Garrett Maines. Garrett did not show up tonight though.
Yeah, the only problem, of course, is that when you're all teammates bunched up so close together, your communication has to be spot on, because that can easily go pearl-shaped and you can end up having all 3 teammates into the fence at once. So, yeah, I mean, you love it as working together, but you got to be communicating, of course. I'm sure they are in Discord right now, communicating exactly one by one. Okay, you go left, you go right, I'm high, I'm low, If a breakdown of communication when you're bumper to bumper, it could go pearl-shaped pretty quickly.
Yeah, drivers are... They're going to have to be very careful to, with getting bumps from people, because if you get a wrong bump, especially in the corner, that will send you right around. as I'm, oh my gosh, that's gonna be so weird to go back to. Sorry, somebody sent me a video of some people doing something at college. I cannot believe that. Anyway, back to this. If you get a bump in the wrong spot, especially in the corner, that's, your truck's already turning. That'll send you around easily. And the tri-oval is also a pretty dangerous area too. You wouldn't really think that it is, but the truck will tend to get loose in the rear end, and notice a slight tap will send you around. Looks like the 87 looks like he might have actually hit one of the bumps in the tri-oval, shot him up the track there for just a second. He was able to get right back down in line. So not
but
too
you
bad
have
for him.
three together is the only thing I'm a little bit worried about, because usually it's a 2-car collision, and then of course if somebody else is behind you. So I don't know, if you obviously spread out a little bit more in your teammates, you have somebody have an opportunity of getting through a crash or something like that might happen. I don't know. I'm not an expert. It's just, there's benefits, pros and cons, of course. And Jeff's still getting a massive tow from Jason. Has just literally been just slamming the back of that Stone River 60 car the whole way. Just happy to give him a nice push along.
It's probably, I say that right now, he's pretty content with riding here, as I would too. There's really no point in trying to get past him. It's 24 laps in the race. You're not to halfway yet. You got about 11 more laps. Coming to 10 right now. We'll go to halfway in the race. But I'd say that riding like this, I think that everyone is pretty much perfectly fine with doing this. I don't think that they have an issue running behind each other. I think they're pretty content with it, and I would be too. Not having to worry about anybody on your outside. You just got to worry about the guy that's behind you, and you can keep him in your mirror, and you can trust the guy that's been behind you when you've been working with him for this long in the race. I think that the 60 is pretty comfortable with Jason Maines giving him a shove whenever he can.
And Brosi are now seeing their timesheets. Now they're getting close to the 53s. They were in the mid-52s earlier. But the second pack are now in the 53s, almost in the high 53s, almost in the 54s. So they're almost lapping a second a lap slower now in the two different packs.
So I think let's see what that might come down to. So we got 13 to... I'm trying to look at these times here. So 13 to 20. They've only got 7 drivers, so what you're seeing right there is probably just the overall strength in numbers from this front pack. That back pack just doesn't have as many trucks, and that's what you're starting to see. It's just the air is having more time to just flow over these trucks, creating less drag, and that's what you're seeing with these huge time differences. You would think that the pack in front's going to be running slower, but they're actually going to be running faster just because of the number of trucks they have up here.
So what do you do if you're in that second pack there? Someone on the line, you got to okay, we're losing about a second a lap to the lead pack. That's going to start hurting you a little bit later into the race, of course. Obviously pending touchwood on caution cars, but yeah, that leading pack is definitely, in the high 52s. It'll be close to 53 soon, but I expect that pit stop, as you mentioned, to can't occur anytime soon. As you'd think they would go a little bit quicker, wouldn't you, with the less gasoline in the cars, but they are actually starting to lap a little slower. Maybe that's a tire wear as well.
I mean, it very well could be, but you're talking about how they can maybe make this up. I think that you saw these guys up here. They were the ones who kind of undercut the guys that are now back here. So I think that the best chance that these guys have that are very far in the back is they're 10 seconds behind now. Their only real chance is undercutting these guys. You're probably not going to get past them, but you're going to cut the time down. You're going to have to hope that you can just get close enough to be able to get the draft from them. Is really going to be the only shot that these guys have this race.
Maybe they try the undercut this time around. That worked perfectly to the leading pack, and that probably might be an opportunity, but forget about it, because the leading pack's all going in. Not all of them. Yes, actually.
That's actually everybody that comes down. Oh, someone hits the cone. That's going to be a black flag for them. Didn't get into pit road in time. They're 4 wide on pit road. They're all fanned out. Need to probably start slowing down so they can get to their pit box. But already saw some drivers have some issues getting down pit road. Just things that happen at Talladega. Some things you can't avoid when you would truly like to. But he had nowhere to go for some of these
some
guys.
taking on tires too, mate. Someone taking on tires.
See where these guys come out. That did take tires. Looks like 27's taking tires, so he doesn't come out in a bad position behind these guys. He'll be in the back of the... Oh, Deweese almost hits the 45 coming off of pit road, but a little bit farther back. But I think that these guys will eventually group back up together, and they won't have to worry about losing the draft with these guys. But
this time around, mate, Jason got the launch there on Jeff. So Jeff was leading this race. Now Jason has been I think Jason was the one that was the bump drafting there. Jeff now has got a little split. Now they're going to have to reverse that one. So Jason will have to break the wind, and Jeff will have to be the one that's giving a shove along. But everybody else is coming in here, so this is the second pack coming in. This is interesting. Kerry Whitaker, Darrell, Nash, Kenneth, PJ.
These guys, I think they're going to lose even more time. You know, they waited to come down pit road, and I think that's going to be really difficult on them now because I think that they just waited too long. You know, I think they may have had a plan to undercut these guys, but it just didn't work out. They just didn't come down pit road in time for it to, you know, take a huge effect at all. Because they're going to go, yeah, they're going to lose a lot of time on these guys behind them. We'll see where they actually come out, but they're going to be pretty far behind. So it looks like they've actually, this front pack has lost drivers. Looks like they are a 6-truck pack now. So some drivers may have gotten out of pit road pretty bad, just weren't able to keep touch with these guys up front.
It was the drivers that took, I think, I'm not sure if they took tires. I'm seeing everybody on averaging about a 9-second pit stop. They could have. I saw a couple up in the jack, so maybe they did take some tires.
And I mean, you have time. You know, if you're filling it full of fuel, you've got time to take a set of tires. So that's may have. And what you had saw some of those guys take is it wouldn't have been a bad decision. If you got the time, you know that your fuel is going to take that long. Go ahead and throw on a set. You've got unlimited anyway.
So what are you looking at? Because I'm seeing a couple of 10s, 10 and 11-second pit stops. I presume that'd probably be tires and splash and dash, right?
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it looks like some of these drivers, you know, also what you can be seeing is, I believe the time starts from their pit box. So if you're getting into your pit box slower, I think it's actually from where you come to a complete stop. So if you're kind of going into your pit box a little bit slower, that's going to add some time onto you. I'm definitely a person who gets in their pit box a lot slower. I've overslid my pit box so many times in A opens that I've just been like, man, I'm just going to go a lot slower than what I need to into it. And that's what you might be seeing from the little bit of a time difference from some of these drivers that are farther back. You know, you wouldn't think 2 seconds makes a huge difference, but that draft just comes into such a huge factor. It will amplify it because of that.
And we've gapped it out right now, so we have multiple. If you don't ship a track map at all, but we have multiple cars out in their separate little packs. And the only problem is being that car alone by themselves like that. In the car back in 24, that's Randall. That's in the car in 25, that's Larry. So there's a few of those stragglers, of course, they're going to be feeling the punishment of being all alone on the track. The leading pack's there. There's a little bit back to P7. I think that's Autumn and Brian probably hanging out together, hopefully. And then you have the car in P10, that's Jason. I think he's alone. And he's got that pack there from Kenneth and PJ and all that are behind him. They're going to be catching him at a dramatic pace, I'd imagine, as well, too, because he's got to break that air, as you'd mentioned. You needed to be having your teammates and friends around you. You don't want to be a lone person on this track.
You definitely, you know, you want somebody with you. You do not want to have that feeling of driving around, being about 5 miles, actually probably about 5 to 10 miles under what these guys are running. As you can see, we'll look at the 41, 61, I'm 29, looking at my screen, looking at their speed. They are getting to about, let's see right now, they're running 178, and the guys up here are running 188. We got Nash and Whitaker. Nash hit 195 from Whitaker, so he definitely got a shove.
Say that. 190's there, exactly for them. And that track map, as you can see, that's how all the packs are spreading out. That's great, lap 32, but now this is once again strategy, absolutely strategy is going to come down to. And it's still paying off, I have to say, for that leading pack there of Jason, Matthew, Chris, Jeffrey.
It's not. It seems to haven't hurt them. I'm kind of very surprised that it truly hasn't to this point. It's like Autumn, Brian, and Braxton. They've all lost the draft, so maybe they'll do an undercut here. They're coming back close to halfway. It's been all green flag laps so far, so drivers have been able to keep it clean. As you know, you might come to the races for some wrecks sometimes, but it's always good to see drivers keep it green. It may be boring, but it's also fun knowing that these guys are keeping it pretty clean. I'm not seeing people make too of an aggressive move just yet, but saying that they're not even halfway yet, so maybe the caution comes out late in the race. You'll definitely see some drivers make some desperation moves for sure.
Well, it's all beat nice and clean racing. Once again, touch wood. Everybody's single filed at this point. Nobody's really taking that game like we saw at the start with about 4 wide at some points, didn't we? But there's obviously back to that midfield position there, 16, 17. They are deciding to go that two abreast.
You know, doing this, you know, they've got a good amount of trucks here, and doing this is going to slow them down. I think if they honestly had gotten lined up, you know, if they stop racing like this, line up with each other, you can shave off some time to the guys in front of you. Maybe that upper pack, when you pick up these guys that are running 3rd or 7th, 8th, and 9th, that'll help you, but you know, they're deciding not to, and this is just going to hurt them even more as they got them fanning out. Now the 89 goes up to the wall. If I was him, you just got to be a little bit smarter than this. You know, you just don't go side by side. You realize that, and you have to catch these guys. As I say that, it looks like they're already sorting it out. They're trying to get single file, so I think they might have heard me somehow telepathically. I guess that's the only way I could think. But yeah, they're all running that single line now, so they're going to go try to catch Autumn, Brian, and Braxton that are running 7th, 8th, and 9th up here. Because if they don't, they're going to have a very, very rough night in front of them.
They got the Ghost Racing Network tuned in on their radio station, Matt. I'm pretty sure they're here.
Seems like, you know, I kind of. It seems like sometimes when I do say stuff when I'm broadcasting, the driver will do it literally the next lap, or as soon as it comes out of my mouth, I'm like, I don't know how he did that, but he read my mind, I guess, and it kind of creeps me out every now and then.
Tuned into the dial. Some drivers I do know do listen to the casters, live cast as well. So you never know. Absolutely. So Joseph Hurt has the fastest time, I think, in last lap here, 2:08, I believe, and that's the 41 car back in 19 in that pack.
Drivers just very clean all the way through. Jason continues to lead. He's got Baker on his bumper. Looks like the 60s kind of moved back to 4th now. I'm going to be catching 2 lap trucks up here. So that bright blue truck and that silver truck, I believe, they'll be going past really soon. They can maybe tuck in behind this group, keep as much of the draft as they can, as they've been really a 2-car tandem. That's just, you know, that's just not going to work. If this was maybe the old gens, you can kind of actually hook up together and you can really just shove each other the whole time. But when they reduce the radiator size, you weren't able to do that because you'd overheat too fast. So you've had to work a lot of this.
The 2 lap cars at the outside line there, because they're allowing the lead cars to go through there. There's that bump drafting, but got to be very careful. Touchwood, 36. We're over halfway. We've all green flag all the way. Multiple pit stops, multiple strategies, multiple groups that are battling it out here in Alabama. Of course, one of the classic tracks. A lot more space than we had yesterday in Daytona.
Daytona was right as you see these guys going through here. This is where Daytona is a lot more narrow than Talladega. You got maybe, I'd say maybe half a lane. You can, on this track, you can really go 5 wide. If we were at Daytona, you could maybe get 4. You're pushing it with 4. 3 you can be pretty safe with, but Talladega will let you do some crazy stuff. It's just a wide track, and it seems like HSR has a little bit of a bigger or better success here running these races here at Talladega than Daytona. It's always a little bit less on the caution, so I think that they've realized that, and that's why they're doing Talladega tonight.
I'd say, but we were surprised to see 3 at Daytona. And now
the 95 almost comes up to the 97.
Yeah, they're going 2 now. Maybe they'll go 3 at the moment. Maybe they'll even go 4. We saw 4 tonight. Now, we saw 3 at Daytona. Now, if I see 5, I pretty much guarantee you, mate, that we'll be looking at a yellow. Because if they can pull 5 off here, it's possible, but oof, that is definitely going to be bumping and grinding on that one.
Yeah, you can do 5, but you know, it's really, you can do 5. But the real question is, do you want to do 5? Because you can do it, but there's some things that you just don't want to do, but you got to. Sometimes that 97 is trying to get a shove from Whitaker to get in front of this 95, and then they'll probably tuck back down real soon behind these guys. He's getting a good shove from Whitaker. Whitaker's all over his bumper. You can see him wiggling, trying to keep as lined up with his rear bumper as he can, so you can give him that shot and know that he's not going to send him around.
As far as I know, Brycey, that no insurance company will insure you if you go 5 abreast around this track. So 4, maybe your insurance rate will go up, but 5, forget it. You've got no insurance after that point.
Yeah, as I'm lucky that these drivers don't actually have to get insured on the track, because that would be pretty bad for some of them. They would not. That insurance company would be paying out a lot of people. That is for sure. If it would be anybody.
We're just making that up, as everybody knows. But just a little bit of fun for that. As they're having fun tonight, that's what it's all about. The next round of pit stops will be occurring soon, and that's going to be coming back to that undercut, overcut. What are you going to do? But the 2 abreast at this point you're watching in the pack there. leading it. Nash and I believe Kenneth, if I'm not mistaken. Kenneth and Jason. But yeah, that's the 95 and the 97 car. They're the ones that are starting to risk it a little bit more here. And once again, what are you going to be doing for a pit stop strategy coming up or pit lane? Because the two abreast, as you know, you're going to wait for everybody else if you're on the outside lane.
Yeah, if they're going to pit, they got to get down. They pit on lap 27 to 28, so maybe they'll come down about, say, lap 44, 45. They might want to try the undercut because, you know, that's the only chance they have on gaining time. But it's kind of a 6-truck battle right now up front, so they're going to have to come down pit road, and they're going to have to hope that either caution comes out or they get an incredibly fast pit stop to be out and away and just catch up just a little bit to these guys in front of them, as you can barely catch a glimpse of them.
I'd be buying my pit lane guys a beer. They get me in and out with those with the fuel guy, or even the tire guys, of course, with the jack. Quickest pit stop right now may make all the difference under full green flag conditions. Once again, touch wood. Hopefully, we'll get that to the end. By the way, you've been casting a few of these fantastic events here at HSR. How many full green flag races have you had? Last.
I think here at HSR, you were actually there for that. Was the first time it's went green the whole way. I know I did race in some HSR stuff at one point way back in it. Those two races actually, you know, the first one went green the whole way through. It was here at Talladega. Then we went to the next gens at Daytona. There were, I think, 4 cautions in that race. I got put in the wall. That was fun. I've only really saw one race go fully green here at HSR.
Oh, maybe this will be the second. Maybe I'm the green flag lucky charm that's coming. Thank you once again, live in the casting box. Guys, give us the thumbs up out there if you're enjoying it. Should be enjoying it because green flag racing doesn't occur very often. Everybody is well behaved this evening. 41 of 70. The 2 different packs, 3 different packs that you see on there, 3 different strategies, and good wheel-to-wheel racing. A couple of 2 files, a couple of single files, yeah, a couple of 3 and 4 at the start, but at the moment they're just trying to get their head down and trying to calculate what they can do here right now to gain as many places as possible as you get into more of the business end now of our laps here in Alabama.
As relating to real world news, Chandler Smith has just won the Truck Series playoff race at Richmond. And it's a cool story about him. Ghost League was doing a recruitment race at Michigan, and Chandler Smith actually ended up joining that race, and he was absolutely dominating the field. Had to leave. Didn't even realize it was Chandler Smith that drives for KBM Motorsports in the Truck Series until somebody told me, and then I realized, oh my gosh, that's an actual pro driver. So I broadcasted him racing. He was absolutely destroying everybody in that lobby before he had to leave. But no, he won the race at Richmond tonight.
You're going 3 now, mate. So yeah, we'll see. Chandler Smith will be happy about this one. He did one. Congratulations. You know, the Sim Series and the Real Series are very close. Look at this. It's 3 and 3 as they head down. Lap 43. There you go. All the 3s. And which 3 is going to give you a lucky number or not. But this is going to get tight, mate. This is going to get very spicy.
So we got the 17 up on the top. Oh, we got a wreck. Somebody's wrecking behind. Kenneth Stamper. That's a caution. Just as they were going 3 wide, this was actually not a result of the 3 wide. I think Kenneth might have gotten the apron just a little bit. We'll have to see here what happens. Looks like Braxton blinks out. And what just happened to Kenneth there?
Yeah, I'm just having a look because Kenneth was behind this 6 wide party up the road.
So I think that
does he get it tap?
I believe that his wheel may have just died here on him for half a second. Watch his steering wheel.
No. There was a net code of the car up ahead. I'm not sure if he got hit by him behind. I saw a net code from the car flashing just above honey, but I don't think it would have thrown. It might have thrown him off, but
actually,
that's an interesting one.
Here, let's see what it is. So, I think he sees. That is a odd wreck.
Did you see a net code at all from the car behind? I saw a bit of flashing. That's just a quick net code
I did see sparks from Braxton, but I don't think it was that. So there's a spark there. I don't think that does anything. I think Kenneth just goes to the outside of Braxton DeWeese, and he tries to throw it outside a little too fast, and the steering ratio, his steering is just way too sensitive, and he overcorrects it, and he goes head first into the wall. Oh, almost collects 24. He gets launched into the air, lands on all 4s. That was hard contact for him. Somehow he's still rolling after that. But I think that it was really just he tried to go to the outside just too quickly and tried to throw it out there, and that's what really got him. But this is going to put pretty much everybody back on the same pit strategy here.
Pit lane now. Everybody has to go visit pit lane because it was coming up to the pit stops now anyway. So pit road's going to be super busy. You got a shout out there from BB.
Hello there,
And
BB.
welcome along. BB, did you bring that caution car out, that caution flag out, mate? We were going so well. We were at lap 43, I think, anyway.
We got some guys that stayed out, I believe. 29, 45, and the 17 have stayed out. I think these guys...
Oh, there's a collision in the pit lane.
Oh, what? Oh!
97 goes around. He's facing in the wrong direction. What can he do now?
He's got it. He's pretty much has to do a burnout and get that thing facing the right way. I'm not sure what happened. I'll have to go back and see. I was looking at these guys that were staying out on pit road, so let's see what happens here.
I got you spotted. I got you spotted for sure. I'm just sitting there going, he's reversing back in there. But he can't. You're right. He has to face the right direction. And he's got to wait for a few cars. That's cost him a tooth and nail of time. That's Nash in the Toyota.
So it looks like
And he
Nash.
does get it around.
So Nash was trying to get into his pit box, comes down into the 61 right in front of the 49 who actually won last night. That's just drivers trying to get in their pit box. You know, you sadly can't go through a truck. I believe it only collects 2 to 3. It looks like only 3 drivers here. The 8 has nowhere to go. He should have gotten his brakes a little bit earlier. Just piles into the 61. But just drivers trying to get in their pit box and weren't able to get into it in time. That's really what that came down to there.
Isn't that awkward as well too, Brycey? Because you get to a certain level of ghosting, don't you, when you get in your pit box?
Yeah,
how does that pan out?
Yeah, that is actually the thing. You know, there's some times where you do get on pit road and you'll go straight through a truck. I believe you have to be relatively close to the pit boxes for that to begin to happen. I think that's what he was expecting too, that he would go straight through them, and it just didn't happen. So it's kind of, you have to guess when that happens. I'm somebody who, if I've got somebody right next to me, I'm going to slow down to begin with, because I don't want to risk it. But he just thought that, okay, I'm going to go right through him, and that just didn't happen for him.
Yeah, there was also a couple of other cars that got collected on that replay that you were showing there as well too, that got collected because of the other cars and all that. So dangerous times down in pit road for sure. We are seeing a very long repair too from Nash, so he may have very obviously used these fast repairs up because he's 2 minutes and change in the pit lane. Christopher Carter's back out 1 minute 43. But luckily for them, the caution flag's out, so give him a chance to try to catch back up to the rest of the pack. And the pack being led currently at the moment by the number 5 car, Matthew Baker.
Baker's mom actually just made a joke. Biggest wreck happened in the pits. That's actually true. That wreck that we saw earlier was really one, maybe you can say 2 trucks that were involved with that. Let's see if we're gonna go green this time. By might bring in Matthew here. Don't want to get him in here before they go green. I have to see lights on the pace truck.
Yeah, I think it might still be out there. Baker's mum should be happy at the moment. Matthew Baker's there. Hey, you got the Biggles in there. Biggles wreck. Biggles something? Yep. B-I-G, somewhere along the line. I didn't want it, but I really wanted this to go to green all the way, but it is what it is. It's motor racing. Bumping is grinding. And it'll actually bring everybody back up together as a pack as well too, mate. And that's what you see opportunities start arising, because as we get deeper into this one, probably about lap 48, you would imagine 49 if we go green again.
You know, you got guys that came back down, topped off, and you know, at this point in the race, you're going to have to pit again. You can maybe go, I'd say, 11 laps on your tank of fuel, come right back down pit road and get the rest of your fuel, and you'll be fine for the races. We'll probably see drivers do that as soon as they're on their edge of their pit window. For fuel, you'll see them all dive down to pit road, take their fuel that they can, and then just go right back out on the track.
Just curious, I can't see the lights on the pace car. Is that true or not? It's pretty hard to see them.
Yeah, they actually went out, so they'll be going green this time by.
All right, thank you for that.
I think they put bigger lights on the pace truck to where you can see it. They just put up a little light bar on the top. You got to really squint your eyes to see it almost all the time now.
That's why drivers know. That's the main thing.
And you can see they've got those lights on the side of the track all the way around to let drivers know, hey, there's a caution out. Don't run over these guys. They've done a pretty good job of doing that. But Matthew Baker, he's going to have the 12 to his outside. That is Chris Whitaker. He's going to have the 19 of Jason D. Maines behind him. The 12 will have the 60 of Jeff Merrick behind him. So he's been a good show.
Jeff really Merrick's my pick, my friend. The 60 car. That's my pick this evening. Usually on my pick, and I picked the last round. So we'll see if Jeff's going to live up to my pick. But anyway, still lots of racing to go.
Got 25 laps. So now they're all boxed up. Might still come down to strategy late in the race. We'll just have to see. That's for sure. We'll have to see if they come down to a strategy play here. But pace truck's going to pull off. They got to go through that incredibly long stretch to where you just have to pretty much be waiting for the green flag here. All through the tribal, it takes these drivers forever, and it feels like forever when you're in the race, especially. The green flag goes in the air. Matthew doesn't get a bad start. Jason doesn't get a bad start. 12 and the 60 don't get a bad one either, but it really doesn't matter because it's a super speedway race. You want the draft here. The 90 or the yes, that's the 03 of Kenneth McCullough Jr. jumps down to the bottom in front of Harry Whitaker. Winker hops up to the top. Winker runs in the Twisted Chassis Truck Series that will be going on Monday. So familiar face in this race here. He's the only one that is a familiar face from
Twisted
another league.
Chassis. I love that. That sounds like a race you want to be in, doesn't it?
Yeah, the 12's getting a shove from Jeff right now. This is where you're going to see these two lanes. You can run two lanes, and really that middle lane seems to show its strength every now and then. But with Jason on Matthew, these two work incredibly good together. It's going to be hard to take these two down, that's for sure. So you're really going to have to be laying it on each other, knowing that you can bump and know that you can trust the guy behind you to lay it on you.
Caution time, of course, is over. Race time's back. And now it's just starting to get a feel of the car again. Get a feel of the weight, the feel of the tires, get the temperature up. Beautiful day, of course, to get motor racing. Rather than nighttime under the lights that we had in Daytona. So this track is not illuminated, so we have to do it daytime. No headlights on these cars, trucks.
I kind of wish that they would put headlights on these. That'd be pretty fun, but we'll still complain. But they do race under the lights here at Talladega and Daytona and some tracks.
I didn't think this track was illuminated. Sorry, my apologies.
No, actually, no. This track isn't illuminated. Daytona is the one that is illuminated. But there's multiple tracks that they've decided to illuminate. No, Bristol's one. Martinsville, they put lights on it. They didn't have them about 4 years ago. That's been a really good short track to watch. This one, drivers will lose their tempers and they'll kind of, well, not that track, but Bristol's been known to have a few helmets thrown at your car and a little bit of some fights after the race. Drivers can.
Yeah, those helmets are expensive. Don't throw them away.
Oh, they've been thrown multiple times. You'll either get that or you'll get the middle finger from somebody because they won't be happy with you after the race, that's for sure.
Only the sheriff car of 45 that's hanging in the background. Just noticed that livery. Is it 45? Yeah, it's a 45 or is it a 42? It's 45. Look at that one. Sheriff? It's a 42. Yeah, it's Kevin. That looks like a 45 to me, sorry.
That's the 42 of Kevin Winker.
Yeah. That looks like a 45. I don't know, the livery. Maybe it's just something I'm seeing.
I was just trying to make sure. We had a little bit of a issue that was actually internet that time, but it seems to have cleared up. Must have just been something I get every now and then.
You're ghosting as well. Like sometimes you see that netcode as well. That happens with the players, with the gladiators, with the drivers.
Yeah, I was really confused. I was like, why are all these cars disappearing? Just had to check, and it was apparently my connection was just kind of deciding to lay down on itself, but we're fine now. Don't know why it would do that. I did have to download something pretty big earlier. I had to download 2 races, so probably that was slowing it down. We got somebody going 3 wide in the back of the pack. That is what? That's Braxton DeWeese. Looks like he's dropping to the back. We're trying to drop with this pack back here. So he's not been up front like we normally see him here. He's been kind of in the back of the pack most of the night.
My apologies. It's Jason, a 95 Chevy there, running a P9. That just looks like a 4.5 on the side of the car. That's a sheriff car, sheriff of town. Anyway,
like
Chris Whitaker is leading this one there from Matthew Baker. And looks like it's turn. Sorry, one of those turns, turn 2, I think. I don't know the turns.
And you see Nash. Nash is he was the one that got the damage on pit road. He stayed in there as long as he could to fix it, and he's actually up here in a pretty good position also, so he's not struggling too much. He's made his way back up through the pack, luckily for him. So he's very, very fortunate that he was able to do that.
And Narish as well, too, with a very long pit lane time, about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. So it's panned out brilliantly for that caution car. 51 of 70.
Looks like they're all deciding that, man, I'm going to go 2 wide. I'm done with this racing side by side. Or it's not side by side, sorry. In line, I want to make it interesting now as they're going 2 wide. The 12's got the 60 behind him, the 6, the 41, 95, 97, 8. 77 and 14 all in line, as I have no idea how I just remembered all those truck numbers on all those drivers. We got
you cast a lot of this, my friend, and that's experience comes with talent. There you go, talent and experience.
So we got the 5, 19, 81, 42, 45, 03, 23, 27, 6, 19, and I believe that's the 30. No, that's PJ 24 on the bottom, kind of being stragglers back here. And this pack just really riding. Decide, man, I'm not going to get up here too early in the race. But I'd say within 4 laps, you may see this whole field come down so they can get on the same pit strategy together. They won't have to worry about it anymore. That'd be the smart thing to do for these guys.
They will be catching the likes of Eddie Christopher and Matt. Sorry, my apologies. Trevor Eddie. And those drivers that they'll be approaching pretty soon. And that's the back in obviously the P20 position there. Eddie, the 45 car, leading that pack. So they're going to have to go up to the high wall and allow this other pack coming through there that Jeff is leading soon. So and they're 2 abreast here. So that'll turn into somebody on the high road, in the high line. Let's try and get a little bit spicy.
It looks like they're being pretty even on these 2 lanes. They're giving each other lots of room. They're not really side drafting very hard. They're just racing side by side. But this is naturally going to slow them down doing this. It's not something that they want to happen. It's just something that will be pretty much a byproduct of racing like this. As they're getting more racy now, the 60 goes down in front of the 12. The 14's on the outside. He's got the 19 shoving here. Sorry, 29 shoving him. Also, they're trying to make it 3 wide. They're 3 wide now, but I don't know if they can hold it. Being the way that they are, it's going to be incredibly difficult for them. As they actually tuck right back down. They realized, man, they're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot at this point doing this, but they're going to be catching these 3-lap trucks in front of them very, very soon.
And you got to be expecting on the pit stop, right? Because they all boxed on lap 44.
You could very well see it happen this lap here. That'll be maybe stretching the field just a little bit, but they're all going to stay out. So not coming down pit road quite just yet for these drivers.
This could be the strategy play of all strategy plays. Coming up soon.
This is when if you're a crew chief, you're wrapping your head around, okay, do I take my driver down pit road this lap? Do I wait another lap? Do I wait 2 laps? Do I hope that a caution comes out? Because if you don't pit with these guys, when they come down pit road, then you're in a hard spot. But this outside lane, you've committed at this point because you're not coming to pit road. There is no way you're making it down to the bottom unless these guys on the bottom go pretty much to the wall. You're not going to have a way in, so it's going to be incredibly difficult for you.
And that will be the Amazon car just on the outside. It's the number 6. I think my numbers are all a bit messed up to yours. I'm not quite sure, but anyway, you can see it's Amazon livery, at least. We are looking at the same thing.
12 got loose. The 5 got loose a little bit. Also, the driver's kind of getting a little bit looser as the run goes on. Nothing that they want to have happen, but just something that you get with running this many green flag laps here so far. Pretty even so far. We'll go on board with the 19 of Jason Maines.
Something always goes wrong when you go on board. Just do it anyway. It'll be fun to watch. It'll be fun to experience what it's like to be inside one of these beast trucks, traveling at in excess of about 190 miles an hour on average.
So you can actually, there's pit stops. Knew they were going to have to happen soon. These guys are going to undercut these guys in front of them. Oh no, there's contact. Matthew Baker, he loops it.
Well.
That's not good. He tail whips the 8 of DeWeese. That's going to be a wreck on pit road, and that's not going to bring out a caution. That very well may end some of these guys' chances at winning the race unless a caution comes out. But catastrophe on pit road for these drivers.
Again. All the pit road has been the collision territory here this evening. Absolutely amazing. Everybody just getting a little bit of contact there. Being spun around as well. So it's going to be in and out quickly, I believe. But the likes of some of these drivers, like PJ comes out quickly, Trevor comes out, Jeff comes out quick, but everybody else got tangled there. A lot of time lost in pit road. This has just turned into a pit road caution race, hasn't it?
Yeah, just drivers trying to get in super deep as this first pack up here will eventually come down pit road, see if they can get in pretty clean. They all do. They're getting in there really deep, though. but drivers probably mess with their brake biases so they can get in there deep and not spin around. But
You
pit
hope so.
road.
Now cross your fingers because
Ooh.
we've seen it so much this evening. Oh, they did get in there this time around. I guess they got the radio message for what just happened earlier with the other group of drivers.
I'm surprised that that's happened, but we'll see. You know, oh, this is going to be interesting now. How much did this affect
A lot.
the
because
group
Jeff's
that
coming
came
around
in?
now,
We'll see
I
what
believe.
happens.
Tyler, Jeff, Nash.
Oh, 29 spun. He's on the bottom of the
PJ.
track.
Oh, that's Tyler.
See if these guys can maybe catch the draft of the trucks that are going to pass them, or if they can get lined up in time to go catch them.
We're still green, of course. Yeah, absolutely. So that's Jeff leading the pack going straight past. There's the Daryl Young coming back out in P6. He's got to catch him, of course, big time because he's got a huge speed of cars coming in behind him.
Looks like
Look at that.
this is really going to be a pack race to the end. I think that 6, when he gets help from the 95 and the 41, I think they'll be able to catch the 03. Sorry, no, the 42 of Whitaker. I'm looking at the times here. They're about a second and a half behind, so they definitely have a chance at catching them. But it's just going to be, can they not go side by side? That's really what's going to hurt them. If they go side by side, then that's when they're really, really going to struggle.
And of course, it was not a yellow caution because all that happened only in pit road, and they deemed it was perfectly safe to be spinning around and crashing on pit road as long as you don't do it on a track at 200 miles an hour.
And you did see the 29 spin, but he was out or off of the racing surface from iRacing's point of view, so no caution for that either. I think he just tried to step on the throttle a little too hard, but you're going to have to watch. Can the 26, which is a 6th race of Young, catch a winker and get a little bit of sniff of the draft? Because once you get a little sniff of the draft, you'll be fine. Looks like Whitaker's had some accident here. He's got some front end damage. But, oh, they're definitely catching winker now. If you can get within about 0.6 of a second, you can catch just an ever so slight whiff of it. And I know that's what he's absolutely praying for at this point that he can do from this guy.
Yeah, he's getting it. 196k per hour. Last lap, 51.6, 52.2 for Kevin. So I'd imagine at that rate, for sure.
It looks like, yep, he has definitely gotten the draft of Whitaker. So the undercut didn't work this time for them. Maybe that pit road.
We do have a crash from unfortunately from Kerry Whitaker. I'm seeing somewhere if you want to look at that one. What's happened to Kerry Whitaker? That's just me.
Like he may have blown his engine. I think it might have expired on him because he's had to roll really slow around pit road. But they're racing up here now. The 6 is on the outside. He's putting it 3 wide. He's getting a shove from the 95 on the outside lane behind him. They're 3 wide. 03 in the middle. 87 behind him. 60, 19, 42, 27, 24, 30. All in that same spot. These guys are just going to kind of watch this sort out. They're going to
now they're going
10
threes,
to go.
mate. Now they're going threes because there's only 9 laps to go. This is where you have to give everything you got.
As if this was me, I'm not sure that I'd be going 3 wide like this. Yep, they go back to 2 wide. So the 03 is going to be leading that middle lane. He's going to have that 87 pushing him. The 6, 95, also coming to him. Jason's moving around. The 60 of Jeff Merck trying to get him lined up, saying, man, here comes a bump. You better be ready for it because I'm going to give you a huge shot. You better be ready. Keep that steering wheel straight. But the 03's gotten it ahead just a little bit, but the 60's going to fight back to the inside. Maybe we'll see another side-by-side finish here. We saw one at Daytona. That 95 set up. Kerry Whitaker played with him and was able to take home the win. You might see this repeated. Just a different driver, different outcome tonight.
Yeah, you said those aprons before hurt. But we saw the defense on the inside line. I have to see whether Jeff can hold this one up. We have a bit of a run at the moment there from on the outside there of Kenneth. But we know that's going to turn into a little bit of slide speed, as you say. Going to lose a little bit of the bump drop. You have all the terminology, of course, but I'm going to see the exit speed should be a little bit better there from Jeff. But will it be? Interesting. 8 laps to go. These are your contenders so far, I'd have to say, but you never know what's going to happen. We didn't know yesterday. We don't know yet today.
The races always seem to get pretty crazy. It's gone pretty much green. 1 caution so far. No, Taryn's got to be pretty happy with that. I know Taryn's out there watching this. He wasn't able to make it home in time for the race to start to be able to, do what he normally does here.
He's tuning on the radio, of course. I hope so. If you're off a HSR racing, tune in on the radio because it's definitely going to come down to the wire because we're getting down to 8 laps, almost 7 laps. We are right, 7 laps. What do you think? Any picks out there, guys? You got a you got a couple laps now to shout out who you think's going to win this one. Because they're all two abreast now.
If I had to pick a truck back here, I'd kind of want to be... No, Winker's not sitting in a bad position. The 24 and... The 24... What's car number here? PJ and Trevor aren't in a bad position at all. They're kind of hanging on to the back of this pack. They can kind of watch these guys, go at it in front of them. They don't have to truly worry about these guys taking each other out, but they definitely got to be cautious of it. They don't want to get involved in it for sure.
Multiple little split groups as well, too, but this is the group you have to be focusing on, of course, the ones that potentially could win this one. So Jeff and Kenneth, 0-3 and 60. Now, put it this way, Kenneth, 25 positions gained. Jeff, 17 positions gained. That's going to be amazing for them if they get these race wins, at least a podium. Raymond was the one that started in P2, and he's currently the 87 car. Just hanging back, but obviously, man's got speed. So keep an eye on him. The 19, isn't it? Jason's been in there all night long. Well, day and night, of course. Daytime racing, nighttime racing for us. Who can take this one? And don't count out every other spot behind, because we can see crashes across the line, can't we, in the dying stages.
Drivers coming to 6 to go. They get back to the line here. They're at bottom lane's definitely losing the 03. Chomps the nose of the 60 off. Comes down right in front of him. Oh, he might have gotten a bump from the 60. He's on the apron. 60 lets him back up, though. I think he got a tap in that area. That's when you get incredibly loose. I think he realized that. He said, all right, come back up, man. I don't want to spin you. That'd be very bad for almost everybody on this track. And I think drivers realize that. They're like, yeah, man, let's not take each other out here.
Maximum risks, maximum rewards. This 45 car doesn't want to be a part of that party, but you got to take maximum risks. That was a scary moment. I was going to ask you about the apron and how much that hurts. And there's also a 53 car coming out of the pit road. But yeah, we saw what happened, didn't we? In Daytona, you get that apron, that can really punish him. He was lucky to see that day and lucky to see in front of this road. That's Kenneth, but yeah, we have 5 to go.
Right around, just barely clipping it is just something that you just do not want to do. If you're running down there, you want to get as close as you can to that yellow line. You just don't want to get on it. That's what drivers are trying to do, and you can get a small clip of it. But when you get a small clip of it, that is very, very punishing on your vehicle overall, really, because of the difference of one set of tires being higher than the others. It just wants to snap around. It's like we've got Chris hoping for a caution so they can get Braxton back in this race as he's back here in this second pack. This pack is kind of hoping for a caution because there's really no way if they're going to be able to catch these guys in front of them for sure. They're going to just have to.
And a couple of... Oh, it's coming on. The 45 is almost going to... Oh, that's deep because they're getting lapped at the moment. They're going to make sure they keep it close to the fence, but not too close to the fence and not take out this one. As you mentioned, Kenneth just hit a 202 top speed there, 202 miles per hour. And it's coming down to the dying stages of this now. Everybody's going to start contemplating, where do you want to park your car? Where do you want to be? Where do you want the overtaking maneuver? If you're going to get the overtake, where's the draft? Where's everything? Look at the speed exit coming out of here at the moment there from Jeff. He'll be back into the lead, but he wants to get in the inside, doesn't he? I'm sure he does, but there's no space.
Thing is, I mean, Jason went with him also. That bottom lane got really bottled up because they had nobody come to shove them. So they lost an incredible amount of speed there, but they've kind of got back together, starting to shove each other now, so they're not going to be hurt too bad. It's just going to be they're going to have to get guys with them. The 87 is trying to get down to the bottom as slow as they can.
He said be very careful of hitting the yellow lines at the moment. It's getting a good speed exit.
This is going to be trying to exit.
This is exciting.
Exit as good as he can. They're coming to 3 to go. Maines is glued to the bumper of the 60 of Jeff Merck. We know that these guys, I think these guys actually do a lot of this super speedway together. So he'll be probably content riding behind Tim Winker. Can somebody else steal it, though? Because they've got a lot of trucks in this one position. We've got some lap trucks that won't be playing a true factor here. But we could very well see somebody steal this if a wreck happens. Hopefully they don't wreck coming to the line, though. I want to see it go green.
Yeah, where would you be, Brycey? Where would you like to be? Inside or outside line? Where would you?
Oh, almost direct as we're talking about that. Oh. But, if I was them... Oh, we got a caution.
There it is. That's a caution in the back there. That's, I think it's Braxton.
Yeah, it looks like Braxton.
Kenneth.
So let's see what happened here. It looks like it happens in front of Braxton. So the 6th... Oh. So it looks like the 777, as we were talking, is he coming off pit road here? Let me see. So, trying to get a good view of what happened up here. So the 777 got a bump from the 3. That put him down on the apron. Comes back up on the track into the 3, into the 30's way. And 30 just clips Braxton, sends Braxton into the wall. Hard contact for Kenneth. Slams it, but this changes everything now. I don't think you'll see anybody come down pit road necessarily, but the driver.
I wouldn't imagine.
Braxton.
Yeah, that was the second pack that you'd see that was occurring. So we had 2 packs because we were focusing on the front pack, but that was the second pack, and they've come together. Calls to caution. So we're going to go to what I think. Well, we just had a Daytona last night, a 2-lap sprint or a 3-lap sprint under. How's that going to pan out for us?
We'll have a 2-lap shootout coming here. We will bring in a man that I'm pretty familiar with. We'll see if they go down pit road this time. We'll bring in Kevin Winker just because I'm pretty familiar with talking to him due to the twisted chassis. But we'll see if he comes down pit road. I'm not sure if drivers will or not. Have to see.
That's a big gamble. Jeff's the one who has to call this one because he's leading. So if he calls it, maybe people will follow him. But aside from that, what do you do? I mean, to me, I would like, if you should have enough gas. Your box on like 56. You got it. I'd have to say you stay out. That's a lot to gain here.
You're out on there. I mean, I say you. I mean, if you feel safe, the 89 comes down. 29, 2, 14, and Braxton's in pit road. Looks like he's out of the race. I think he had the tow. I believe he used his fast repair earlier. But we will bring in the 42 of Kevin Winker. Here if he's in the. If he is in a Discord room, we'll have to see. Yeah, there he is.
And they just passed the pit lane, so they passed the pit entrance.
Actually, I want to see what room he's in before I move him. Room 13, channel 14. So. Hey, Kevin, this is Bryson Biggles in the booth. You got a copy, man?
Yes, sir.
Man, so you're in 6th now. You're not in a bad position, no, being this late in the race. Now, what do you think you have to do to get into a pain position at least, and what do you think you have to do to win the race?
Oh, well, first, obviously avoid the big one if there is one, but then just, find that dancing partner. I was riding behind Mains there a little bit. I kind of work well with him. A lot of these guys I probably work with well, so I'm just kind of trying to find the best guy I can work with and then try to get that run and see what we can do here.
Yeah, man, familiar face, remember you from the Twisted Chassis, but now how's the racing been from your point of view the whole entire night so far?
Oh, it's been fantastic. I think the second caution, so I mean, it's been green flag, lots of green flag stops, so it's been a blast. It's been intense, but it's been a blast. So
you're 14 up as well too. I was going to say 13 at the moment. I don't know why I said there was a little lift off there with Brian, but yeah, anything's very much possible, mate. Any little hints and tips that you want to try for the dying stages of the race to try to get yourself on a podium?
Like I said, you just gotta get luck here, avoid the big one, and hope you can find the right partner in the run and just put your spot in a spot for the payout.
All right, man. Well, I will let you go. Hope I see you in 1st. If not, hopefully you get in a pain position tonight, but good luck.
Sounds good. Thank you.
So that was Kevin Winker. I'll drag him all the way back down to his team. Here, I'll go down very
biggest
far.
gainers, of course, would be Kevin. That's the 03 car. 22 positions gained. Look, it was looking good very much for a podium position. Still is looking good for podium position. Jeff, my man, the pick that I've picked early there, the Toyota is 60. Now he's in front, but, being in the front is not always the best place you want to be when you're in the dying stages of the race because you're the ones breaking all the air. Lights are still on the pace car. And Raymond, of course. Now, Raymond, you have to remember the 87 car. He was on pole, so he's the quickest man in qualifying around this track. Currently running a P2, so that's going to be something in the back of your mind, wouldn't it, if you're the likes of Jeff and Jason and Kenneth and everybody around him?
Yeah, and before they'll be going green next time by. Yep. But before they go green, I'm going to roll a incredibly quick ad for you all here. 1. Drivers are going to be coming back to the green here. Jeff will lead him to the green. Raymond, he'll be second. Jason, third. Kenneth McCulloch, fourth. So this is going to come down to the line, I think. Everybody else is boxed up. This is their first attempt at a green-white checkered. They've got 2 more. Of course, you don't want them to have to use those. But it'll be interesting. Now this is anybody's race to win.
Absolutely. When it always comes down to just a deja vu once again of last night at Daytona. This time around, you have an opportunity going 3 abreast or perhaps even 4 abreast as they're going to be just trying to do anything they can. Pace car should be in. What do you reckon, Brycey?
Oh, Lord. You got to make some moves. You got no friends at this point. Gloves are off. You're going to start throwing some punches at drivers, not physically. Actually, I mean, you could do it after the race physically, but drivers, this is all take, no give at this point. You're not letting anybody else in. If you're out of line, well, bad luck for you, but Jeff is going to lead him to green here. He's got to wait for that long tri-oval to get the green. It's going to get interesting here now at Talladega. Green flags in the air. Jeff, Raymond get a good start. Main's behind him. Kenneth on the top also. Can Winker squeeze his way through? He interviewed him right before they went back green. We got a wreck. We got somebody into the wall. 29's in the wall. That's going to maybe bring it up. Not a caution here. Yep. No, there it is. Tyler Letchworth.
Another caution. Oh, okay. I thought that was going to be go, but let's have a look what happened.
See what happens here. The 17 looks like he comes down. No, 29 hits the brakes, shoots his truck sideways up into the 3. That collects the 53. And the back of the pack, he has nowhere to go at that point. Up into the 3 again. 77 squeaks through it. But just an accident there in the back. So they'll be getting another shot here. That's the 3rd caution. They'll use their 2nd green-white checker, but pretty much the same position that they were before. The 3 is down pit road. I believe she had to tow this race, sadly. So that's going to end her chances of getting in money position here tonight.
So just as you get your heart rate up and through the roof, you then have to calm it down and do it all over again.
Yeah, it's always an incredibly hard thing to do. You're already antsy. No, driving in general, you're shaking, sometimes sweating, arms heavy, mom spaghetti, as Eminem would say. But no, right now you can kind of calm down, realize, okay, I got to do this again, but I'm going to only have to do it for 2 laps. But it's a super speedway, and you got a pack of hungry wolves behind you, and you're wrapped in meat. So you got everybody that's trying to come after you here.
Somebody clip that. I love it. We have casting terminology. There's another one. What's that? A pack of hungry wolves, and you're wrapped in meat. There you go.
Yep, there's a pack of
my quote database.
When you put that a quote, you got a pack of hungry wolves behind you, and you're wrapped in meat. They're all going to try to come get you. It's Talladega. Doesn't matter at where you are. You pretty much got to think that all the time. They're trying to get you, no matter what track you come to.
I wouldn't want to be a bunny rabbit or a greyhound. Charlie's chasing me around too. That's what it would feel like. It goes to the horse racing, of course. Sorry, to the groundhog racing. I'm an Aussie, mate. Yeah, you bet on the groundhogs, the GGs.
Oh, this might make it interesting now. Yep, I didn't think these guys could make it on fuel. I knew that they weren't going to make it on fuel, so they had to come down pit road.
Raymond did not. So did Kenneth. Interesting.
So they're going to go behind these guys that pitted the caution before. I knew they were going to be close on fuel here, so that definitely does change a lot for these guys. I was thinking...
You got to really trust in engineers at this point, isn't it? Yeah, just dropping places tooth and nail here.
Yeah,
That's a lot to gain in 2 laps.
I was thinking, looks like they did have some people that stayed out. The top 8 stayed out, but I was sitting there thinking that I know they had fuel for probably 1 green-white checker. 2 was definitely pushing it, but they come down pit road. I kind of had a feeling that somebody would have to when that 2nd caution came out.
So it's now the drivers that have boxed 6 or so, 5 or 6 times. Is PJ then essentially the one that's leading the pack on 5 pit stops? Everybody else on 4 from P1 to P7. This is going to be, crunching numbers out there.
No, I know right now they're probably cutting their truck off. We'll go on board, see if he is. He's just going as slow as he can on the bottom, keeping his little throttle in 5th gear, making sure he's not burning off fuel. So if I was him, I'd be cutting my truck off too, but They're all on the bottom, saving as much fuel as they can just to stretch it to the end. As they can maybe run out last corner, and that would be.
Yeah, but how much time are you going to lose if you are just lifting and coasting at that point? Because even if you did make that pit stop and you got a whole tank of gas and you can go flat, you still got 5, 6, 7 cars to get past. That's a lot of work to do in a couple of laps.
I say, these guys up here that stayed out, their beds are made. They're not going to go half throttle. They're going pedal to the metal, and you're pretty much, if I run out at this point, then I run out. You decided I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to send her, as that meme would say. I should actually add this in here for that. They're just going to send it, hope that their tanks can make it. They might sputter once. Then that's when you really are like, oh, no, this is bad.
I'll just get out some of the bourbon that I've been drinking and just blow it into the gas tank. Should give it enough to get the cross line. What's happened, Jeffrey? Jeff Merck, 60 car, leading this race, down P14 at the moment, taking that pit stop. Now he's going to be feisty and fast. But there's a lot of cars to overtake. 13 cars to get back where you were.
Ooh, this is just... Oh, Laura, this is going to be interesting.
A bad call.
I don't know. I mean, it could be. This is a lot of new players up front now as we have Baker's mom. I can't believe she made her username. Baker is in 9th right now as he kind of have a joke with him. I ran an A Open. Talked to him about
HS. It's a great username. Oh, we know exactly who the Baker's mom is. Good on you.
Yeah, I was in a race with Matthew one time in an A Open. It took him about, I'd say, a good 2 minutes to realize, oh, wait, you are a broadcaster when I'm running a paint scheme that says Ghost Racing Network, and I joke with him about that all the time now that he didn't realize that it was a dude that had just broadcasted a race last night. But so Baker's mom is watching it. I do kind of poke fun at your son because he didn't realize it was me. It took him a while to notice it.
And Matthew Baker currently running in P9. Now he's on 5 pit stops. Everybody else is on above from him. You only have the driver of PJ in P7. He's the only one who's taken 5 pit stops. Everybody else is on 4s, so we know they're not necessarily massively gassed up to the end. So you're going to have to make a huge charge here. So Raymond leading this race from pole that he set the A7 car, but Kenneth, that's the 03 car. 24 positions gained. Now Kenneth, that Raymond, Kenneth, there it is. McLauger Jr., he's the one that wants to take this one, of course, from Georgia. 24 positions gained to win a race would be fantastic. But then again, Raymond has set the standard early during qualifying, says, I'm the fastest man in town around here. So if you're going to bring it, you have to bring it.
Oh, did I send that in the wrong chat? Sorry, I'm looking. Okay, I did. Good, never mind.
The lights are off the pace car, mate, so you should be peeling in a second. And you're going to get this to do it all over again. But perhaps the last time this evening.
This is going to be... Oh, this is going to come down to the wire. Everybody is boxed together. Pretty much, who's going to let the cat out the bag? And what's the cat going to do once it get out the bag? We're going to have to find out here. 03 is going to come to the line. 87 is going to be to his outside. 42 a Winker. Behind 10, the 6 behind the 03. Got to wait for that incredibly long trial over here at Talladega. Green flag goes in the air. 87 gets a good jump. See if he comes down in front of the 03 or if he stays in front of Winker. He's going to go. Looks like he's going to run the middle, go to the bottom now. Winker's going to have the 6 come up behind Tim. Can that middle lane mount something here? They always tend to show strength. That bottom lane doesn't have a car behind the 03. So this is going to really hurt them on exit. They've got to get down there. 24 goes in the apron. We got to watch for guys clipping the apron, trying to make a move down the bottom. We got somebody riding the apron, doesn't go around. The Winker's going to get a shove from the 6. They're 3 wide in the back of the pack. Baker is all on the top line. He almost gets cut up in front. I was about butchering my words there, but Baker's trying to get somebody to go up in the front. I believe that was a 24 PJ. They're wiggling, trying to shove each other. Winker's trying to get a shove from the 6. Baker's trying to shove the 24 PJ up top. They're 3 wide now. 87 on the bottom. He's got the lead. 03 shoving him. Can they keep it clean the whole time through and go 3 wide for this last lap? They're going to go through the tribal. This is where drivers can't be bumping each other. I think they're going to realize this really soon. 87 just out in front of these guys. He's got a pack of wolves, and he's wrapped in meat right now. As I said earlier, green flags in the air at Talladega. 3 wide. Can they make it through for this last lap? You're going to see drivers giving as big as a bump as they can. Baker's all over that 24's bumper. Winker's going to have to hope that the 6 can give him a shove. The 87's got to hope that the 3 can give him a shove. They can maybe start laying back and get a good run on these guys coming out of 1 and 2. Pretty even all throughout the 87. It's just ahead of these guys right now. They're coming down the backstretch, wiggling around. Everybody's trying to get the biggest bump that they can to the truck in front of them. Looks like Winker gets out in front just a little bit. PJ's on that top lane. He gets out in front. It may be a 3-wide finish. Baker's looking, trying to find a way, and they almost make contact. Winker down into somebody. That sends Winker into the wall. 87 squeezes through. Oh, is this going to be a finish of last night? The 03's on the apron. The 6 on the outside. Oh, here they come. 27. 6. 87. 89. Can he squeeze his way through? It's going to be a finish at the line. No one was expecting 87 down to the line outside of the 27. Just edging them out the line. 89, 27, 26, 41, and 87. 87 comes home in the last paying position. The 89 came from nowhere out of 3 and 4 and found his way up through the pack and edged out the 27 of Brian at the line to win here at Talladega.
Trevor and Brian, go back to that replay because that was all down to a couple of corners before, wasn't it? Daryl finishes in that P3 position, 20 positions gained. Joseph Hurd, and Raymond and Kenneth that were starting that lap together side by side, 5th and 6th. What happened? Let's have a look at that replay.
We'll go and see what happened. I think it started with Kevin Winker here. I have to go from a chase. I think he may have came down into somebody a little bit. Looks like the 6. Nope, he gets hit by the 6 down into the 87. So just bump drafting gone wrong. 87 goes up, or 42 goes up into the 24. Just a bump draft gone wrong in the corner that was given by the 6. The 42 goes back down into Baker's path. Everybody's wrecking from that point. And then we'll look, where did the 89 come from at the end of this race?
Yeah.
So it looks like he is bottom lane about the 4th truck back on that. He sees this wreck happen. I think he actually somehow rides the apron, doesn't spin himself around. We'll see what happens. So he sees the wreck. Or actually, probably can't see anything at this point. 03 goes on the bottom, trying to keep his truck down there for as long as he can. I'll go full speed here. So he just stays bottom the whole time. Everybody wrecks around him. Luckily, they wash up into the track. He follows the 27 through. 27 edges his way through this pack. At this point, you think the 27 has the race won, but the 89 gets a massive run, bumps the 27, and then just gets to his quarter panel, side drafts him, stalls the air out, and just edges him out at the line to win at Talladega. So he came from almost nowhere to win that race. He's burning it down here with his teammate PJ.
You have to go back a little bit, a few laps earlier on that one, where he came from. That's Trevor. Sorry, the 87. Are you referring to? That's Raymond, but yeah, 89 was Mr. Trevor that won the race.
See if I can go back to a little bit before that. We'll see where he was exactly. So.
Oh, at the moment he's doing burnouts on pit road, of course, but why not?
So
we're having ones at the moment occurring on track 2 between Trevor and his teammate, a 24 car, and it's not the ones in Rocket League.
So it looks like
they're pretending to be the ones.
Looks like the 87 most, or the 87. Sorry, 89. So I was looking at the right truck. The 89 most of the time, he was about that 4th truck in line the whole way through. Sorry if I was getting the number wrong on him. Trying to read 2 screens. I was probably looking.
Can we go? Let's see if we can go on board with him, see for his perspective how it all pearl-shapedly worked. Everybody here, as we go back, obviously a couple laps before this final run.
We'll go back to where he goes through this wreck here, go in the cockpit view of Trevor. So he's on that bottom lane, 4th truck in line. And he really, I mean, you can't realize, he sees the 42 maybe get contact. He's lifting off the throttle, trying to get through it. He hears tires screeching around him, sees the 27, goes with the 27 in the middle, gets a huge run right here, gives the 27 a little bit of a bump, moves the 27 down the track a little bit. Maybe actually I moved him out of the way. Side drafts him as hard as he can. And he's really side drafting incredibly hard to the line and just edges him out to take it home. So he just comes home and just squeezes through and gets it. As somebody just said, he got the run of his life. Yep, he definitely did. That was a crazy finish here. We'll look at the finishing order. We'll bring in the top 3 for a interview here. Update this so you can see the top 3. So we'll bring in Daryl Young. I have to find him, drag him through all this. Hey, Daryl, this is Bryson Biggles in the booth. You got a copy, man? As I don't believe he's... Oh, there he is.
I'm here.
Hey, man, so you come home 3rd tonight. We're able to avoid that wreck on the last lap. How did the race go for you the whole night, though, man?
Went pretty good. My strategy was just hang out in the back the whole time. Got pretty worried when it stayed green for many, many laps. That first caution kind of bunched us up, and once we got all in the same pit strategy, felt pretty comfortable, and just started to work my way to the front from there.
Yeah, I mean, kind of Talladega is known for the big one. You were able to sneak through it, come home third, but just you definitely get a good amount of money tonight. Just did you think you were gonna finish third? Coming down on that last lap, how your whole night had gone.
No, I did not. Kind of got stuck in the middle there. I knew we were going to go 3 wide. The middle wasn't really where I wanted to be. Kind of wanted to be on the bottom. Didn't have a choice. Just tried to stick it there and do the best I could, and just kind of went from there.
Yeah, man, just luck can be on your side sometimes. That's definitely what seemingly happened to you. Before I let you go, is anybody you want to thank, any sponsors you want to shout out that may have been watching the stream here tonight?
Just some friends, local friends, and coworkers and family that's been watching. That was fun. This is only my second race here participating in these events, so I'll definitely continue to do more. It's been a lot of fun.
Good job as well too, Darryl. This is Biggles, mate. 20 positions gained up into P3. Take that podium any day of the week. Good job. Solid. Brilliant.
Thank you.
That was Daryl Young. We'll bring in Brian Keyser here.
I was just looking at the moment there of what happened with Trevor. But yeah, let's go, Brian. Brian.
Hey, Brian, this is Bryson Biggles in the booth. You got a copy, man?
Hey, Bryce, I'm here.
Man, so the 89 just side drafted you just enough to get past you. But, man, describe that last corner or last lap from your perspective and what was going through your head when you saw that wreck especially.
So, honestly, I guess coming through 3 and 4, I was just, I figured it was Ray's race. I had him and Kenneth on, riding the yellow, coming through, and then I think it was the 42 that was leading the middle pack. From my perspective, it looked like he got a shot that knocked him squarely. He kind of door slammed Ray and Kenneth, got them squarely, and then it kind of opened up, and I was getting the push from Trevor, and he gave me a shot, sent me right through the middle, and I don't know how, but he was carrying speed and just right around me to, get the win. But it was, I was obviously happy for him and that he raced me clean. I raced him clean, and it was pretty crazy. It was just right place, right time kind of thing.
You were right in the middle. I'm just looking about it. You were right in the middle coming out of that corner. Line's right there. It's got somehow an exit speed straight out of that and just edged it by about a foot, I think, on you to get that race win. About a foot, 2 feet maybe at that.
Yeah, looking back at it, watching the replay, it was probably would have been smarter of me to go towards the wall. Instead, I was darting down towards the yellow line, and I think it probably killed a little bit of my momentum. But he did have, he was coming like a freight train, so I think that either way, he may have gotten around me.
Yeah, man. Someone said in the chat that dude got the run of his life, and he definitely did. You just weren't able to hold it off, but you definitely can't be too upset with the finish because that's still a good amount of money tonight. But before I let you go, is there anybody you want to thank, any sponsors you might want to shout that may have been watching the stream here tonight?
Yeah, this is my first race here. I'd like to say thanks to Kenneth and Chris and Autumn and Eddie to let me run with them tonight. Normally I'm running with my Team 3 guys, and they couldn't be here, so I just appreciate them, and thanks to the guys for putting the race on and you guys for broadcasting.
Yeah, Brian, that's amazing. And sorry to cut you off there real quick there, Bryce. Is that another newcomer in town, of course. It's your first race. That was brilliant. I was looking at back at the moment now. That's the thing, the reason why you're staying in the middle there. Anyway, in the middle there is because there was I think it was 97 car to your left-hand side. That's the reason why I exited that corner. Anyway, it is a podium, and it's brilliant for your first race. Amazing.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate it. Thanks, guys, and you guys have a good night.
You too, man. As that was Brian Keyser, second place driver. We will bring in the winner and Trevor Ashenroth. I'm not butchering his last name. Hey, Trevor, this is Bryson Biggles in the booth. You got a copy, man?
Man, I for sure got a copy.
All right, so you got jet fuel in your truck on that last lap or something there, buddy? Because you were flying off of that last corner, got the biggest run of your entire life. Somebody in the chat even said, dude got the run of his life. You're able to get through that wreck, stay on the bottom, and you had the biggest run I think I have ever saw in iRacing. Describe that last lap And coming down to the line, what was going through your head?
Not to wreck. That was everything that I had right there, man. I couldn't even tell you what happened, to be honest with you. We came off the turn 4. Everybody wrecked behind us. I saw 3 trucks in front of me, and I had to make a decision. I pulled up behind Young, slingshot engaged behind Brian, and I hit him and I pushed him in the back, and got the run down the triangle. That's how I did it, man.
There was 4 trucks. I'm looking at the replay right now.
Oh,
There's 3
I
trucks
saw 3.
blocking, and then there's one just ahead. So there's 3. Nowhere for you to go. You're in between the Amazon. I'm just looking at the Amazon and the Team 3 car. I think that's the 27 car. And you're sitting there followed behind the Amazon car. You go high into the wall. There's the inside line and the exit speed, and then you just somehow found straight through the middle. And this is obviously highlights. You need guys to watch that in a replay. But hey, right place, right time, paid off.
Oh, baby, you already know, man. I was out here. I was trying to win, man. That was my whole goal. And the dreamboat made it. That's what they call me, by the way. I'm sorry. I'm chugging a beer right now in celebration just for you guys.
I mean, man, you might as well just take that beer, chug that whole thing. You won. I mean, heck, maybe you can get more with the money that you won tonight. But before I let you go, is anybody you want to thank? Anybody you want to shout out that may have been watching the stream here tonight?
Oh, of course, man. I got a couple to go right now on my truck. I got TA parts. If you guys ever need used auto parts, I ship it. I send them. Pick them up, whatever. TA parts on Facebook and Instagram. Also, to the Throttle Bangers, Pimp Juice, PJ, I know you're listening. Kenny from the block, he'll in this race too. He got crashed out early. But we were out here working together, stayed in the back majority of the race, and waited to the end. So I appreciate you guys, and we appreciate y'all.
All right, man. Well, good finish tonight. I will let you go, but good rocket on that last lap, man.
Hey, man, they call me Ryan Newman out here, apparently.
As that was Trevor. He had a absolute rocket of a truck coming to the line. He edged out Brian Keiser. He come home second. Daryl Young third. Raymond Rittner fourth. Joseph Hurd fifth. I believe that's the last paying position tonight. Kenneth McCulloch sixth. Nash Mabrala seventh. Christopher Carter eighth. Jason Schilling ninth. Matthew Baker 10th. Jason D. Maines 11th. Jeff D. Merck 12th. Ed Hawks 13th. 14th is Chris Whitaker. 15th, Kevin Winker. 16th, PJ Luttrell. 17th, Joe Cogburn. Go back down here. 18th, Matt M. Carroll. 19th, Zachary Tostovan. 20th, Bradley Shepard. 21st, Randy Richard. 22nd, Kerry Whitaker. 23rd, Autumn Koger. 24th, Tyler, I'm not going to even try to say his last name so I don't butcher it. 25th, Kenneth Stamper. 26th, Larry McDonald. 27th, Braxton DeWeese. He had a hard night. And these last two you see down there were not in the race. But a crazy finish. Comes down to the line. 89 has a rocket. No Biggles. How did you think that race went overall?
Well, I get this reference right now, I think, at the moment. No, I'm going to butcher your name there, Trevor. I apologize if I do. But see, Aswan Orth, I think it is, if it's your surname. You know what, Ryan? Kind of rhymes with that? Astronaut. So if you want to call it a rocket and, you want to be shooting this one in the space, mate, you shot this one right into the lead and got that job done. So apologies if I butcher that one a little bit. But that's what I kind of see the reference there for the Rocket Man. And he's done it. He's in space. Everybody else is still back on planet Earth.
Give you all one last look of the move that he made you see. He's got literally every single lane is blocked. Maybe he can force it outside the 6, but he goes back inside with his run, gives the 27 a bump to push him down into the middle. I think that maybe got the 27 a little bit loose because the 27 moved down a lot more than what I thought that he should have, but he leaves that door open. 89 gets right on the 27's bumper or quarter panel. We see that side draft. We'll see it here happen really soon.
He had to go through it, right? You leave the door open, you're going to get burgled, and that's exactly what happened. Just he applied the extra boost and got the job done. But once again, you got to be in it to win it. And he was there, the right place, the right time.
Just gets the side draft. 27 just slows down so much. 89 goes right by him. He takes home the win. They come wrecking behind the line. 6 up into the 41. 87, 03 Nash into it. But not a bad race overall. Crazy finish. Down the line, that's probably a good moment for some of those drivers. I know some drivers are going to be happy. Some drivers won't be happy for sure. But a great race overall. We will be back here again Sunday. Not sure the track. Lower entry fee than normal. So hopefully we'll see some more drivers. We did see some newcomers here tonight. So maybe we'll see some more tomorrow. But if you are still watching, or if you're watching this after the replay, if you don't mind subscribing to Ghost Racing Network, sharing the channel, that'll help us grow. We're at 160, trying to hit maybe 200 within I'd say maybe a month. That's just a goal of mine. But good race overall. We will be back here again tomorrow, and I'll run these quick ads, and I will let you all go.